Hey, what's going on, guys? Double 18 Set Shadow here. So for today, Bushiroad had some more announcements for the cards that we saw in last week's episode of Vanguard, including the new support for Gryphogila and its new Grade 11 form. And so the only real surprise that came out of that was probably the set order being a token as opposed to a main deck card. And to be fair, that really was needed, otherwise the deck would just be too cluttered with different cards. And so ultimately, it seems like Gryphogila will actually be pretty decent coming out of set 13 as opposed to how it was before, although it will be tricky to play given that you have to damage yourself for its full power effect. In any case, we did cover most of Gryphogila last time, so we won't be doing that this time around, but we will be covering a few of the wretches. But today we're going to start off with some Brandgate generic support, starting with Enlightened Age Dragon, which is one of the double rares from set 9 that's still maintaining some decent value. It is one of the Persona Ride based ones, but it's probably one of the cheaper ones to pick up at this point. Even so, it's still not bad at about $1 right now when you want to pick up the double rare, and $2 if you want to pick up the FR on this one. For reference, this card allows you to discard one card from your hand, and then you can pick 2 set orders from your drop with different names from the card that you it picks up 2 set orders from your drop and lets you put them to your hand, but they have to be different set orders. So ultimately, it's a discard 1 to pick up 2, and then it gets a little power boost on top of that. Then you have the Cycler from set 10, Sickle Blade, which is likely to be played more than Enlightenment, but do keep in mind it is significantly more expensive. 19 listings right now on its triple rare starting at closer to $11. Market price is right about there. And then the FFR is lower than its market price right now, but it is starting at $65 with 7 listings. And we do have set 11 coming soon, which could see more play of this card with Eva. So do keep in mind that this card does have the potential to get some more value into it. It was going below 10 for a little while, but now it's just kind of hovering around there, so it has the potential to rise back up. Skull Chemida is one of the first cards we'll talk about from the Wretch side, where this card is starting to restabilize itself between $7 and $9, $10-ish. Basically, the hype that it had initially has really died out. We'll have to see what happens when set 12 actually hits. I do anticipate that there will be another spike at that time, especially since one of the best decks coming out of that one is Dark State Space and Mask. But right now, $7 for the double rare, while $9 base for the FR, 15 listings for the FR, and 28 for the double R. So still pretty readily available. We'll just have to see what happens as time passes. And the same goes for Depth's Eelwealth, which is currently 31 listings for its double R and $4, and closer to $10 for its FR, 15 listings overall. And with Magnolia Mask coming, we can expect to see this card see a bit more popularity with set 12 as well, so just be on the lookout for that. Gandiva is going down in value. Despite still being one of the top decks to play right now in the format, Gandiva's $10 base for its triple rare right now with 34 listings on top of that. And then if you look at the FFR, it's still pretty expensive, $90, but still far lower than its market price of $118 and 11 listings overall, so it's still available. Of course, like I said, it's still kind of expensive at $90, but given that it is one of the meta decks to contend with at this point, it's not wrong to say that that's a fair price, I suppose. Dragonic Overlord, the End, has been seeing some rises in value. I talked about Ardor Hatchet before, and of course, you have the Dragon Knight as well, who has been holding at the $30 mark. But the End's triple rare version is holding around $10. It was below 10 for a little while, and it's just slowly been creeping back up if we take a look at its history. Well, I guess not as slowly as you would think, but it was a drop off to 5 and it just progressively increased by dollars and now sells pretty consistently for $9 to $11 if you manage to have multiple copies of it. As for the other variants, the SP from set 5, all of this is from set 5 by the way, $57 base for the regular SP. You have the 10th rare SP sitting at a base of 120, and then you have the secret rare, which has a good number of listings for being the secret rare. $230 base with 6 listings, so not selling too hot, I suppose. Let's take a look. And the first one is lightly played, too. Yeah, it's not selling very consistently. Only 3 sells in the past month, effectively. And ultimately, it's mostly hovering around 230 to 260. So, and its price rate has actually gone down in comparison to the triple rare. So, ultimately, when you consider that Overlord is not one of the bigger decks to play right now, it is interesting to see prices go up for a lot of its singles, but then I guess it's when you get to the really top-heavy rarity, it's just not holding. Shadow Cloak has been bought out. We have 10 listings on this one, and all the prior sales have been around $9, $10. But now the lowest available listing is at 19, and then it only jumps up to 25 after those $19, $20 listings end up disappearing. But it is a set 3 card, so with this news, there is a good possibility that we'll see a lot more of these hit the market at some point. But again, it is going to be dependent on set 12, which could see play for this just to use with Magnolia Mask for easy access to the Mask of Hydragoon. Silverthorn Rising Dragon. This one I haven't covered in a while, but it is still a generic to consider when it comes to Dark States. It's currently 445 base with 23 listings, and then you've got the FFR right now at 13 listings starting at $59. And ultimately, its market price for the triple R is higher than its base listing. So it has been down from where it used to be. But ultimately, even when you take a look at the number of copies that are available for 5 or under, there aren't too many left. After that, it'll end up becoming a $7 card, and it is selling a bit more consistently right now at the $4 mark. So $6, $7 seems to be about the right price for this card, at least from the way I see it. Angelica had a massive fallout on its triple rare, where it used to be in the $20 range for a little while when I last covered it. But now there are a number of listings available for as low as $6.50-ish to $7. And there are a lot of quantities of that too. So if you're looking to pick up regalias for the BCS tournament, this is probably a good time to do so given how far this card has fallen. And then you've got the FFR, which currently has 2 listings available, starting at $100, and then you've got $115, and there are only 3 copies overall to pick from. Then you've got 2 of Us Rhyme and 2 of Us Flow, which are currently only from Lyrical Set 3, and they're not getting reprinted in Set 4, so the double rares have been going up in value. You have $9 on 2 of Us Flow, which is the crit-based heal trigger, and then 2 of Us Rhyme, which is the re-attack-based heal trigger, at about $4. And then when it comes to the FRs, Rhyme is 14 base, and Flow is 25 base. Rhyme only has 2 listings, Flow has 6. Then you also have Inconspicuous Ambuscade Musetta, which is Herminia support. And I hadn't really been covering this card, it was my mistake here, given that the double rare has been bought out to the point of $4 with 6 listings and a market price of $126, and the FR is gone. And if we take a look at sells on the FR, 5, 3, 4, so yeah. Sold pretty readily at these prices. This is a good card to consider if you're playing Herminia, so $4 on the double R is not horrible, given that it is a set 3 card, lyrical set 3. So, yeah, just to keep that in mind. But if you do want to see if you can find it lower, you can shop around a bit, but it'll be hard. Taking a look at some of the old trial deck foils, Friend of the Netherworld Ling has really dropped off from its hype and is now readily available for about, or I guess not readily available. There are 3 listings around $4 or $5. Then it starts to get back up to about 10, but it's a far cry from its old $20 valuation from when this card did not have the reprint in the Festival collection. Then you've got Knight of Ardent Light Youth, which is the grade 2 of the Ride line. The foil from the trial deck of this one has been selling for $18 to $28 and currently has a base listing of $26. So this one is still pretty high up there if you want to bling out Youthberg in its entirety. And it is currently the only foil variant of the Ride line version. Then you also have the triggers from each of these decks, which are still holding at pretty high values for being common triggers, but of course their only printings are in the decks. Connecting Rampage Clan is the critical trigger from the Grejewel deck, which is still selling for $2.50 to $3 pretty consistently and has a good amount of copies amongst just 4 listings. And then for our last card of the day, it's Volition Rigor Dragon, which is from the Rika deck at $3.50 base, but it's only been selling for $2 to $3. So will it sell higher than that? It is Cater Sanctuary, so I wouldn't be surprised. Even so, yeah, I just wouldn't be surprised if it did. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys later.